Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. We are live. We have been live all day. We're so grateful that you're here and joining us for the Room Steward Harvest as part of World Unity Week and the 99 Days of Peace Through Unity. We're reaching you thanks to Sign Network and Unity Earth on so many different Facebook pages and on the one stream. We're so grateful. And I'm so grateful to be working beside my partner, John Raymer, who has built this incredible scaffolding that our Room Stewards have built, this astonishing platform for us to bring forth our gifts during World Unity Week. And so we're gathering here in this sacred Zoom room to share and hear from all of our Room Stewards over the past week what we did, although we will never know the ripple effects, but we're going to attempt to create some waves here today. John?
Yes, we are. So let's do that. Let's hear from any steward can, and no one has to, right? But how are we doing on the time allocation, Becky? How much time does a steward have to share kind of highlights? We're going to
we had invited, because there's so many stewards, we had invited each room to share for up to 4 minutes. And so we will, what we do is we encourage everybody when we do our steward harvest to use your phone to set a timer to help you to stay, because I know I'm like the worst, but we need to stay so that we can hear from as many of our stewards as possible. So we want you all to raise your hand, make sure that your name is showing, that we know how to spotlight you and everything and bring you into our program. And we'll unmute you, and then we'll go in, John, we can introduce our stewards as we go.
Yeah. No, and 4 minutes does not do justice to what you're doing. These are just highlights, right? We're going to do, in fact,
the essence.
Posted an article about how we can take these recordings, transcribe them and summarize them and edit those summaries and really gain value out of what just happened. But at least let's use this time here to get the highlights. So Shonda, you have your hand up. The Earth Mother Network and the
gathering room.
Yes. What happened?
Shonda, and is Keith here too? Shonda and Keith. I don't know if
I don't know. I sent everybody the link. I'm not sure if they made it in or not. So 12:08 and counting. Okay, so this has been the most remarkable experience of my life. I would not have gone back and made another choice, made another decision, and I'm so honored, so grateful. Becky, the minute you started speaking in that ceremony, I know I'm digressing here, but that's where it was. I mean, I watched the native elders of the pine trees in the Cherokee counties getting demolished back when I was a child, and we've got to heal. And I think we were brought out of being an underground network. You know, we've been around for 20 years and we've just been a big family, like 30 states, 13 countries. And we had no intention of ever, because we never wanted to be that. And we came out, and this is where we found our family. And I'm so very grateful for what this Unity Earth and Sign Network. Oh my God, Becky, Ben and John. Everybody. I'm so honored and so in love. I'm so in love. And that's my time, and that's all I will ever need to say, because I'm home, I swear. And everybody needs to, this is, Gary made a comment yesterday, and I wrote it in the chat. He said that Unity Earth will be, I'm going to paraphrase it because I can't remember right now, but he said that Unity Earth will be the most important event by 2030. And I just put Teresa after it because it will. We are home. This is the foundation that we change the world.
Shonda, you are powerful. My God. Everyone that you brought to this community just honors you so. Grandma power. Oh my gosh. Oh,
Thank you for your sacred yes. I
Yep.
mean, for months you've been
wow.
working and learning so many things in technology to be able to honor your community and weave your community in with this community of communities. And so thank you so much for your sacred yes.
Thank you. It's been an honor, and it shall be an honor going forward.
Lots of room in this magic canoe. Lots of room. Everybody's welcome. Ananda.
Ananda, there you are. Ananda Reeves is joining us now. Excellent. Welcome. Welcome. From Coming Home to Peace Room. You are coming home to peace. There you go. There you go.
Okay. I didn't want to follow that act. I'm saying, I don't know if I can put myself together enough to talk about what I was doing, but you know, it's been an amazing week for me because I'm in the room called Coming Home to Peace, and literally, that's what we're talking about: home and peace, and coming home to peace. So I had a series of presentations that went through the whole week, and explained the process of literally coming home to peace. And so the first day of the offering was supposed to be with Michael Tellinger, and Michael Tellinger has a plan for the world about how to bring our towns, starting with small towns, into being a cooperative, citizen-owned town. I don't know if you can get that, but that means that our towns will be owned by its people, not by the corporations and the money and the greed and the separation and all of that. And I've known Michael Tellinger for many years, and I've followed him, and it took me this long to really figure out what is he really saying. And I thought that what he was talking about was way, way, way in the future and so far gone that it, sounded like I need to come back in my next life and start over for another 100 years before we get there. But really, and unfortunately, Michael was not able to make it, just had technical difficulties, but I spoke for him, and I was empowered when I was speaking for the One Small Town organization. I realized how much I knew about it and how much I love it. And today is faith, and I have absolute faith in humanity that we can turn our towns around from being isolated and separate to actually being a collaborative unit where everybody in the town owns their town. Now, a food co-op is like, people know what a food co-op is. It's where there's a building, maybe a food co-op, and there's nobody owns the building, and everybody works a small amount of time, and then they all get back, their needs from the co-op. Michael Tellinger's vision is that we can make our towns into a co-op where we all work small amounts of time, and yet everybody gets all their needs met. And so I live in a small town myself, and I do this promotion work all by myself. So I started figuring out I'm pretty lonely here in a town trying to talk about something so doable for our town. This is completely doable. And so I decided that I didn't want to live alone anymore, and I don't want to handle this campaign, if you want to call it that, alone. So I designed a way, or a plan came through me. Actually, I had nothing to do, if you know what I mean, about how to create a household of people that live and work together and learn their own inner peace work, and then collaborate together in bringing peace to their town. And so it starts with one big house. And so my motto is one small town starts with one big house. So I'm looking for just a few people, maybe five. I would like to start with a women's house, and we all live together. We work on our own inner peace issues. We work on living together in peace. Like so many of the Native American tribes already have this. They have tribe, but most of us white folks, American people, we don't have tribe. We're isolated and we're elder. And we're alone. And so I'm creating this way where we can live together and share, and then have that energy just spill out in the neighborhood, and then have it spill out into one small town. And, for me, it seems like logical steps to world peace.
Ananda, thank you so much. It's so beautiful. Your vision, your ideas, the way you stepped up and were able to really, use the opportunity to step in and really expand what you're doing. And we're so grateful for your contribution to World Unity Week. And I'm really excited about your mission as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing more as we go.
I had this few little minutes to tie together everything we're working on. And so people can contact me if they're looking for, to live together in a tribe and do the work of the world. And I appreciate you guys all so much. I just love you all, and I know that real action with real people really living together in peace has got to be the answer. So thank you.
Beautiful. Oh, I see Janice Coyle has her hand up, and Janice Coyle and Antonia Albano were room stewarding, and would love to invite you to share for a few minutes about what happened in your room. Is Antonia here as well? Hang on. Help you. Hang on. There you go. There you go. There you go, Janice.
Okay.
Yay, you're both here. And we'll have Antonia.
Are we on now?
Yes, you are. You are. I love this image of both of you there with the.
Yes. This was our room image, our motto. Because our room is called Journeys into New Earth Frequencies and Sacred Geometry. We thought we'd bring in a little proof of science that things are happening. And there are gifts of energy incredible from so much. And for me, I would say that this event has been one of the events of my life I will remember forever. Mm-hmm. I've grown from the experience. I've been touched by the experience, and the thing that I touches me the most, other than just the atmosphere I already spoke about before, when we went out to our friends, Antonia and I both, interesting, very accomplished people with worldwide followings who didn't know anything about World Unity Week. They said yes immediately. They composed special music for this event. Songs. They recorded, some of them recorded special, incredible presentations just for us. And they all said yes. They all said yes. Everybody we went to, outside of the people here, all said yes. I've had to ask people in other things I do, and I can't, I'm busy. Nobody said no, nobody. And it's like it was meant to be. And the presentations are so special. We recorded them, and they're going to all go on my website. They're going to go on my YouTube channel. We want to offer this to people that couldn't come here. Antonia, what would you say?
Well, everything that you said, and the fact that we wanted to add the breadth of everything from sacred geometry, art, music, and poetry was an extra special offering and expansion of the things that we think of as more serious presentations. And I just want to say that Charles Betterton, thank you for suggesting that Janice and I co-host a convergence room. I will say that the word neuroplasticity has a new meaning up close and personal. It's just been incredible, and I don't know that I would have done this without Janice. We put in many hours and a lot of tech learning, and like everybody else. But it is an amazing experience, and one that I actually canceled my 2 weeks vacation in Spain for. So there was no way I was going to try and do this abroad. No way. So I want to just thank you all for the incredible experience of being here. And I know that it will expand. And I know that my relationship with Janice for future events, not only with World Unity Week, but with other global events, has definitely been birthed. And I want to thank you all for making that possible.
And I'd like to really express incredible touchiness, if that's a word, and gratitude to my co-steward, the wonderful, loving Antonio Albano. Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, Becky, gosh. So some of you know I was in the desert during Passover. And they had this beautiful gratitude circle, this is a harvest and gratitude circle. And I just want to say thank you. What they did was so beautiful. The words, they would sing this song. People would come into the center of the circle and they would say, "You help us grow. You help us live. And we've all got different jobs to do. Thank you for what you did." So thank you to the stewards, the presenters, those who've declared missions, the core team behind all this, the hub. I just can't say thank you enough. To hear people say that this was so meaningful to them and that we're a part of making something like that happen. What a privilege. You help us grow. You help us live. And we've all got different jobs to do. Mm-hmm. Thank you for what you did. All right, Ingrid, you're up. Speaking of our hub holder.
Ingrid is going to, I think, Ingrid didn't, when we
Didn't have her hand
go
up?
to Ingrid. Are you ready, Ingrid? Are you ready?
You're not ready. For some reason, you're in the upper left for me, so I thought, raise your hand. Okay. We'll come back, Ingrid, if you want to speak, raise your hand, of course. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ingrid, do we want to have Karen too? Now, Ingrid?
All right. This is the time.
Karen and Ingrid. Karen is here, our incredible hub angels. Karen Trujillo Hub, I see you.
We're always
You're both
ready.
unmuted.
Hub.
We're going to
Always ready,
spotlight
right,
you both.
Ingrid? Yes.
Karen and Ingrid from the hub.
We'll get to you, Tom. Okay.
Well, and actually, there's a couple
Karen
of people
Trujillo.
that really held the space in the hub this week. And Tex Albert has just stepped up and
Yes.
helped with the publishing so much.
Oh, my
And
God.
he opened every day with a meditation that was just phenomenal. I wasn't able to participate in all of them, but I know that, in fact, any of them. But one day I was still up publishing things as he was coming in to start the new day. I was like, oh, is it already morning yet? So he is just so on it for holding the space. And Jana Larson also has been a wonderful welcomer to the space. So all of these people need to be identified as strong supports in the hub. And we are very grateful for that. And then also just as a piece of love from the hub is that it's so cool to see the people that come in and we are able to connect. And this is a place for all of the room stewards and offerings to presenters for further opportunities to volunteer in the hub, is that somebody comes in and they're really interested in, I'm really wanting to know more about how to live in community together. And then we can say, hey, once the Ananda Reeds is doing a presentation about this, and connect each other, because it's sad sometimes where we can see that things are going off and people are doing so much work and they're doing so much incredible effort in their world and their communities and the things that they're doing, and other people also are doing it. It's like, wait a minute, we need to connect you guys, we need to get you together. And the platform is here. John has designed, and everyone that's working with the Mighty Networks, everything is coming together. So we just all need to strengthen our connections to be able to bridge these things together. Karen, what else do you want to add?
I want to continue with the honoring. Yes, Tex and Gianna really held space every day, and also Renee Collins, Kim Conrad, Jay Billing, and I know Connie Baxter tried to get into the hub, and I think we weren't there to open the room. So thank you. It makes such a difference when people come in and support. And we evolved this week every day. We came up with new systems. There's multiple rooms in the hub. So that gives people places to go work. That gives people places to go cry and open up their heart, which happens in the hub. And it has happened every day. It's so beautiful to witness and hold space for. And I just, we thank you guys so much. And our, mission, which we'll share more about in the continuation ceremony, is to really have the hub open. Tex is really supporting that throughout now and these 99 days of peace, which I know we're not on day 99. Whoever can do the math for me. And just really, Becky, I will say this one very sweet thing about the hub. Becky, Ingrid, and myself do tend to live in the hub during this time. So sometimes if you call really early, we don't put our screen on because we're literally in our pajamas still and we haven't gotten dressed. But we love that. And then we say goodnight to each other, and then Ben will pop in and be like, good night, everybody. And John will pop in and just be like, how's everybody holding up? So it's our virtual home, and it truly is. The hub really is coming from our hearts, from our homes. And so sometimes you get to see the inner workings of what's happening in our homes.
And I do want to also point out that Becky created the very first time, I was just a volunteer at the very first World Unity Week. And I did not know about Trello. I didn't know much about the internet. I didn't know much about anything. And so I was just like, I'm here to help. And so sometimes all I did was man the reception desk of helping when people were coming in and saying, oh, okay, well, look at the website. And then you go to this one. And then as I learned and I gained more skills in helping to direct people more effectively, Becky continued to step up and add more things to the team up about how the videos on how to do this and how to do that. And so that's definitely a part of our mission from the hub, is that we're going to be putting forth is how to support you guys and all of us, and pulling together to hold us together. The hub may be the huggers, but all of us are creating this together.
How many volunteers have we had in the hub? I mean, we've had a lot of people. We've had more people in the hub than ever this past week, but how many? We had a lot of volunteers. So we just, so much gratitude.
Yes, thank you. And thank you to the people that signed up to be Zoom techs and signed up to do different things. Every single person who has volunteered to help support each other is a part of building this new Earth Rising together. So thank you.
Now, there was a moment when Tex told me, okay, now I know what I'm going to be doing this year. And that is, I'm here to serve and help. And his meditations every morning and his support with the Mighty Network. I mean, guys, you help us grow. You help us live. And we've all got different jobs to do. Thank you for what you did.
Well, it's incredible. I want to remind everybody who are hub holders, we're all hub holders, who are room stewards, to please raise your hands, raise your virtual hand, and you do that. I need to do a tutorial on that, right? You click at the bottom of your screen if you're on your computer and click more, and then you'll be able to, or click reactions and click raise virtual hand. What we're doing is we're going in order of the way we see the virtual hands raised. And so the next person is Shannon MacArthur, and we're going to invite you to unmute yourself, Shannon. And we are so grateful for your sacred yes this time around. Thank you for joining us. You should be able to unmute yourself now. There you go. Great.
Thank you so much. When I start ceremony, I call in my guides and my guardians. And this week that belongs to my people in the hub. And I call them mine because it felt like they were there for me every single moment whenever I had a question. They gathered me in when I was, bashing on the walls of my screen. And they guided me into better expressions. And they showed me where to participate. And they helped me with my Trello cards, and they helped me with time zones. And I cannot speak highly enough about the people that I got to experience through the work of all of the people behind what's gone on here. What I talk about is the magic in ordinary moments, spirit in synchronicity, spontaneous synchronicities. And one of the people that came into my room was Eva Millar, and she came each day, Sunday through Friday. And we had an amazing experience talking about her foundation course for embodying the one that we are. I'm sorry that I got the name wrong, but very close to that. And it was so much in keeping with my philosophy of our heart gardens. And I want to acknowledge the visions of all of the people that I hear talking about their visions. And what I'm realizing is that all we have to do is blend the visions, because the visions are so similar. We're just finding our way to blend our edges so that we can stay who we are in our core and walk our sacred path and walk with our family. My mom says that's not my cup of tea. And I told her, this is where I find my family. Mom, come and be with my family with me. And, it's a marriage of all of us. It's a commitment that we are doing that is outside of the norm. The norm has got us to this place out there. And yet, all of that happened so that this could happen. And I look for sets of numbers, and as a way of embodying spirit in my life. And as I just said that, I looked down at my clock. Becky, you told me to start my clock. It had 1 minute exactly, and we have to be aware of the things that happen in our lives. People of the land used to watch for guidance from spirit through the flight of a bird. You ask a question inside and you wait for a message from spirit. Well, I don't get to walk out in nature all that much, but I am constantly around clocks. And so I encourage you, take screenshots of the magic in ordinary moments. When mom comes to visit you, say thank you. And here we go. It's going to twinkle at me. Thank you so much for listening and being here, a part of my reality. This is the fun part.
Thank you so much. So incredible. You've been such a blessing to our collective. Thank you so much, Shannon. Thank you for your beautiful shares. And we have Hasina Patel and Dr. Tom Acklin are here, and we would love you both to share and reflect on what happened in your room.
Well,
I just want to say that when the theme was put out, New Earth Rising, I believe every single one of us who attended or participated in World Unity Week, we put that into our deepest of intentions, because this year I could feel the shift. I could literally feel something tangible and just this collective energy. It was all about community and co-creation and just being in this new age of peace and unity and walking the footsteps as leaders, all of us. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who made that possible. And a lot of people have mentioned Tex. Yes, thank you, Tex. The times I had to ask you to publish things, and I felt bad about it because, I should have been doing it right to begin with. And then also thank you so much to John, Becky, Ben, Anna Marie, whom I learned so much from. She's supported me so much. And Kara, Ingrid, Irina, Derek, Mark and Peter, and just everyone else who actually made this possible, and all the fellow room stewards. It's been wonderful. What I do want to say as well is that if you don't have your 99 days of your 99 day or 91 days in our mission, I got a lot of wisdom from even the presenters in our room who just presented and just shared their wisdom. Brian and Lisa are here, Julie Heyman, and I got all this wisdom where one of our panel leaders said, what do you want to say as last words? And what came from me was, imagine if this was your point A and you get to journey to your point B. I haven't put down a mission yet because I couldn't define it, but something is forming inside of me, and this is my point A. So that's what I want to say to everyone. I also want to, before I hand over to Tom, I just want to, in her absence, thank my sister Shamima, who did all our Zoom tech and stayed up late and did all sorts of things with tech. And now I get to hand over to Tom, my beautiful partner in life and in Convergence Room, and I'm honored to do this with him.
Me too, and amen. And yes. And let's not forget, since we're Mama Gaia centric, Mama Gaia of the South African Sisters, Rashida, thank you, who was, it seems like we were all always there. I was going to say, she was always there, but I'm grateful that she brought you forth, my dear. Tell you what, I wasn't going to do this, but the one you left out, well, one of the many you left out is yourself, and your beautiful Akashic Records readings, right? Every morning. And the other day, I had presenced something about the mist out back and noticing the spider webs and the glistening. I hadn't mentioned it to Hasina. I mentioned it to somebody else. And then moments later, Hasina's leading an Akashic Records reading with lattice, the word with the lattice and bubbles and glistening. So I called it glistening goosebumps. And I'll just share with everybody what one thing that came out with me was I like to anagram. And from lattice, the anagram that came off my pen without even thinking about it is love attests togetherly timelessness. I can exemplify. And I love that. So I could talk for hours and hours and hours. And I have 2 journals worth of notes, and it's so beautiful. And John, I want to tell you how much you inspired me yesterday when you were talking about we don't really know what's going on. Since today's theme is faith, that's a beautiful transformation, right? And that came clear for me in several places. We hosted one one of my colleagues, Dr. Henrietta, who's a naturopath, and Bree Dellerson, who's an acupuncturist, and Tara, with her somatic work, all three of them in the same place. And the synergy in the conversation, each one of them was stunned by the other. And also each one of them in some way spoke that they were surprised what came out of their mouth in the presence of the other. Yeah. And it's such a powerful dynamic. And that's what we can be on the planet is, and it doesn't mean we don't have a skill set. It doesn't mean we don't say what we think we're going to say, right? But we can give people that sense of surrender, and that's a contagious vibe. That's
right.
Yeah, that's something.
That's the storm creativity, Tom. That's the faith that they're. Stop denying the oneness. Right. That's one of the messages from Patricia. We know that. So now we're swimming in a new space. We can move to a new place together and to have that experience. I mean, right now, it's happening to us right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
I am so grateful for what you did there and those magic moments that we've all been having. We just need a big bag, put them all in. And they belong to all of us, belong to our future generations. Rooting for us.
We are rooting for us. It's incredible.
They're counting on us.
Yes.
And look what happened. Nina texted me this morning. Brian's here, and incredible things in Auschwitz and what happened there. I mean, it's just, guys, you're a part of something amazing. I don't know how the hell we pulled this off. But man, somehow we are
together. We're all paddling together.
Gosh, I have such pride and joy. Yeah, it's amazing. Wow.
Well, we have Diana Clare from Unitive Justice and Anna Marie Vorhoever from the Hague Center as well. And we can, let's see, and I know Cara was involved in that room. So Diana, Anna Marie, there you all are. And Cara's there doing her beautiful work of capturing the essence of what was going on here.
Son's a genius. He's right next to her, okay?
Yes.
I had a chance to talk with him. He's a genius.
Well, hello, and thank you for calling me in. And Anne-Marie and I were initiated into bringing this question about unitive justice, walking the emergent path to oneness. And the question that we used for the week was, what does unitive justice want us as humanity to know right now? Behind me, you can see different flowers. We used flowers as the symbol for each of the workshops this week. So we had a garden of flowers. And interestingly, the black-eyed Susan, which is the one right behind me, the yellow with the black eye, is considered the symbol of justice. So that was part of what was drawing us to use flowers. This room was hosted by the Hague Center for Field Inquiry, which Anne-Marie and I co-founded. And the room was co-stewarded with me and Pamela Schreiner. And I don't think Pamela's with us today. So I just want to acknowledge her support and help throughout the week. Now, the Hague Center has been holding the vision of justice being central to the transformation of the world since about 2014, when Anne-Marie and I first started working together. And we've just continued to hold knowing that. And then over the last few months with the Whole World View team of Dr. Jude Curavan and Rodri Samuel, we've done a series of facilitated constellation work processes looking into activism and how it might move into sacred activism. And as we've been going through this series of 5 experiential events or sessions, the next step that became clear was that we start to explore what is unitive justice. And so that was the initiation for this room. And what could there be a better place than World Unity Week to ask all sorts of questions? And for me, they're just the beginning of the questions. I'm going to just mention the workshops we did, because in that way I can name all the people that were part of the work we did this week and the exploration and experimentation. So we used a number of experiential and embodied processes. And the first one we used is an adaptation of Joanna Macy's Council of All Beings, and we call it the Holy Council process. And my colleague and I, Mary Elizabeth Mason, listened to the wisdom of grandmothers and wise women about unitive justice through this process. And then through constellating for the collective, an experiential and embodied process that we use as a primary tool at the Hague Center for Field Inquiry, Anne-Marie and I co-facilitated a couple of events that we were using this. The first was walking the spiral based on spiral dynamics, walking the spiral of justice and listening at the different levels of consciousness. And then we also inquired about unitive justice directly through a constellation process with Jude Caravan and the Whole World View. Now, when we are doing these constellating for the collective, we involve representatives. They're a team of people that have worked with us over the years and are able to tune into the knowing field as antenna and listen deeply and transmit the messages they receive. So it's a very embodied, physical, actually, experience. And over 19 representatives joined us in various workshops this week, Marilyn being one. I can see Marilyn's up on the screen, Marilyn Hamilton. So we also did the final one on the using this process in the Unitive Justice room was we listened to the messages of archetypes of justice, and the named ones were Mat, Themis, Justitia, Durga, and Sacred Law, Crow Woman. We had also had presentations, one on injustice about the Hassan Diab wrongful conviction for terrorism. And we had the exploration of truth and justice with Hasina Patel. We've just seen her with her room, and Dr. Tom. And Dr. Ibitsam Klait from Lebanon presented her vision of forging unity, justice, and governance through a world constitution. So it was a very full and busy week. We also, Anne-Marie and I and the Bridging Continents team did a world constellation in another room, in the Global Fires Ceremony room. And here we were listening deeply for the messages from the prophecy of the eagle, condor, quetzal, and hummingbird. Now, I haven't had time to synthesize all the messages we received. We received many. They were beautiful. What I can say is it's very clear that unitive justice is in a process of emergence for us and transformation, and has lots to inform us. And I'll leave with the message from the final workshop, where unitive justice's message to us was, they drew a circle and excluded me. I drew a larger circle and included them. And I believe that's the heart of unitive justice. And Anne-Marie, do you wish to add anything for a moment to what went on in our room?
Thank you. First of all, Diana Claire, I really want to thank you for holding that all the time and doing this amazing, very powerful work, which also really requires you to be taking great care of yourself and your body to be able to be available for all these messages. So thank you so much for that great work, and for the support also that you got from behind the scene, and from Pamela, of course, and Hillary. Yes, I think the message that what you just said, I wrote when I came out of it, totally excited to Ben. Oh, we got such a good pointer, because somehow deeply within, I feel that this is something that we can also be using here. And I feel it in as our 99-day mission to further explore what that actually on a deeper layer means in relation to justice. They drew a circle excluding me. I drew a larger circle including them. And I clearly somehow feel that in the whole work that we're doing with Bridging Continents, but also with Living Cities Earth. And that's why I asked Marilyn to be here, because not only is she so often supporting us as being a representative, but also we are so much cross-pollinating with this work with the Living Cities Earth and Integral City, that somehow that simple but profound message is something that I think is something that also we are being taught. I am picking up as a lesson from our Indigenous peoples. So I really want to just acknowledge that. And I think this example of what we had the ceremony before, where we see that there is this long-term trajectory, and then when it happens, I can only feel love and light. I cannot feel remorse. I cannot feel an othering. I can just only feel this larger circle coming around, going around the rock in ceremony. So yeah, I think this Unitive Justice pointer will really help us to move towards Peace Week. And I would like to see also how in the Living Cities Earth group that was co-stewarding with us, the Meshworking Cities and Eco-Regions room that we've been having since 2020, has been, we will be together in the beginning of July with some of the stewards, and I want to really further explore them. But for now, perhaps first, with gratitude, Diana Claire, for what you shared and did with the team, move to you, Marilyn, as an important anchor for us in the Meshworking room for so many years already, and now also this year. And I know you prepared a PowerPoint for us, but I think in the technology that we have, that's not so easy. But I do feel that we can really post it not only in a Trello card, of course, but also in the 19 network so that people can really see it. But maybe you can speak to what we did, and perhaps in the end, John can also share just a little bit, because he was hosting us in the, for us, past midnight call in the plenary in room 1. Please, Marilyn, share what we did in the Meshworking room.
Thank you so much, Anna Marie, and thanks, Diana Claire, because I really find the systemic constellations really impact cities a lot. And that's where we started really getting insights from the invisible parts of the city. And so in the Meshworking Cities and Eco-Regions room this year, we had a lot of fun, actually. Both Integral City and Living Cities Earth showed up. The first was my Integral City group returned for a kitchen party. So I had a reunion of people that I've worked with across the last couple of decades. And, you know, because I did send out through social media and email to people who had taken all of my trainings. And I forgot that I'd put in the Trello board. And so the people who turned up were a wonderful surprise and unexpected combinations, including people who also connect with me here at Fintor, like John Clausen and UN. So it was it was something just as an experiment. People came and went over the 2 hours, and it just flowed beautifully. So the next day, what we did with the Global Cities, Global Living Cities Summit, we actually had a conference within the conference, because Living Cities Earth had set an intention to have a global Happy Cities Summit on the solstice. And so when we saw what the timetable was for World Unity Week, we just thought, well, let's put one conference inside the other.
And that worked out beautifully. We had 4 days in which we were able to explore how to have a meditation with, first of all, Sue Cooper joined us from Nottingham and opened our whole Happy Cities Summit with a personal, in-person, outside meditation that was lots of fun. Sue is the originator of Moments of Mass Mindfulness and has become a Living Cities Earth co-founder. So from there, we moved into a group of people who spent 10 minutes each sharing what their definition of a happy city was. And we had enough people contributing to that we easily went through our 2 hours. And one of the things that I think you will like is that we built a bridge from their sharings to the 99 days of not only the challenge, but we're going to have a marathon. So we've built into our expectations and intentions that everyone who gave their 10-minute Happy City exploration will now give an hour over July and August so that we have a marathon. We were on different time zones because we are truly a global Happy City, Global Living Cities Earth group. And so we recorded our Happy City Love, Unity, and Peace with Anna Marie and Marina Demchenko, with Alexander, Laszlo, Robert Fisher, and Lev Gordon, and then invited Lev to connect with John Raymer. So that in the time zone where they were both in Seattle, John very kindly took us into the magic canoe. I watched that recording, and then we shared what we felt was the connection between living, happy, love, and unity and peace. We used a mural board for our sessions. We had people that were all around the world, from Baku to Buenos Aires to San Diego to Paris to Odessa to Edinburgh. So we had people that were both in peace zones and real honest to goodness war zones. So this really brought home to us how we needed to pay attention to the different ways that we could be together in our unity, together in our living cities. And we examined both thrivability and flourishing. And today we ended up with a further exploration of happy cities and how we were able to bring to our discussions the ways that we can connect in partnership. So we went through explorations of partnering, of collaborating, and I even brought in the idea of a holobiont. I'll put that in the chat so that you can look up that later. So we finished up today, as I said, with posting the calendar of events that we expect to unfold between now and September the 21st. So we hope that you'll have a chance to join us in those and listen to everything about our leadership processes that goes from flourishing cities to badass leadership. So thank you so much for really supporting us and giving us an opportunity to present the real deep life that is in cities that must be in service to Gaia. Thank you. And John, did you want to add anything that you had in your discussion with Lev?
I did. And thank you, Marilyn. Thank you for bringing your genius. And Anna Marie, thank you for building this web, this mesh working that's happening here with the integral cities, with the living cities Earth. And I was so moved by this and what you were sharing with regards to unitive justice as well. We've got a mission to do. And Anna Marie's right on the cutting edge with the technology, as is Kara and all of us, right? We should really distill all those sessions and go beyond just harvest, but actually a distillation. And what you were saying, Marilyn, that's so meaningful. There's a term we know from Meg Wheatley's work, a system of influence. During the 99 days here, this mission, we can become a system of influence, and it's around the cities. I've talked with David and the compassionate cities and the integral cities. We can convene. We have the power to do that. And we should, in September, create something remarkable. And I am committed to that. It's one of my missions, that we really go deeper in the process of harvesting what's happened here and integrating in a radical collaboration amongst us. You guys are amazing. I am so moved. And cities, because cities are a fabulous power for change, because they have budgets, which are moral documents. Choices have to be made. Caring can really happen. And the vision of that one little town that Michael was talking about, one small town, we all know this. It happens locally. Let's do it. Beautiful, beautiful. Very inspired by your work.
Thanks, John. And you know, the caring that we talk about is Gaia's code of care, to care for self, to care for others. And so together we care for our places, and all together care for the planet. So it's just a big growing love fractal.
You know, AI doesn't care.
That's what I heard you discovered.
Powerful as it is. Caring, you can't engineer it. It's got to come from who you are. And that's ours to discover. We're in a new world. The new earth is rising, and it's rising in the air.
Thanks, John. Thanks for all the ways that you support this.
Sarah, you wanted to say something? You're muted.
Yeah, I just wanted to say really quickly that the Living Cities Earth and the Mesh Working Room activity are a real active force. It's a wonderful complement to the sort of feminine, holding, visioning, accessing energy that's in a lot of the other rooms. And this one's like, we're doing it, we're taking a marathon with all these people in this network, are like really creating a lot of things in those cities. So just appreciating that balance of the masculine and feminine weaving together, which is the big patterns of our time. So, and the beautiful conscious men in this community, I was especially appreciative of how that we weave our masculine doing and our feminine holding together. It's one of the patterns of success of creating this new earth. So thank you so much.
So incredible. You all are superheroes. You really are. Like, just holding this capacity. We're so grateful. And thank you to all of our room stewards who've shared so far. And I believe that, I believe in us. You know, it's so good. And I see Charles actually has his hand up now. And then after that, yeah, Charles, we would love to hear from you, brother. We would love to hear what happened in your steward airship room.
Yeah.
That's great. And everybody else who's in the room, who's a room steward who has not yet shared. Oh, hang on. We're
bringing John Cobb. Is Charles going to share? I thought he was going.
I don't know. Did he lower his hand? No. Charles, do you still live? There he is. I see him.
He's a living legend. Serves so
there he is,
people.
Charles. There you are. Yay. He lowered his head, so there we go.
All right.
I see you. Thank you so much.
The world wants you to talk, Charles. I know you're, for whatever reason, now you've been featured. You're the biggest thing on my screen.
Well, I've been processing. I mean, it has been such a rich experience, and I have to begin by apologizing to the Hub Angels for probably being one of the most challenging time zone crises requesters. So it was fascinating. My focus had been to seek to introduce a number of organizations founded by or inspired by John Cobb to this world, to this international community of love, peace, harmony, what Dr. Cobb has been working on for 98 years, right, Ben? And it's been, I'll say that one of the greatest highlights for me is that the sessions were recorded and you've made arrangements for them to be available, because this was a treasure chest of treasure chest. And the experience that I had Thursday, I guess it was Wednesday night, Kurt Kruger and Barbara Leger, they were saying, let's do something. I'm saying, I'm up to here already, you know? but we agreed to do something spontaneously on celebrating a piece of peace, P-I-E-C-E-P-E-A-C-E. And it ran about an hour and 15 minutes. And towards the tail end, Dr. Barber shared that she had just completed a semester with over 6,000 school-age children learning peace skills in public schools in Ukraine during a war.
Oh my gosh.
And she went on and shared. She's not been able to be there physically for the last 3 years. She used to live there. All of her team members are new, had to recycle because of the war. But over 6,000 youth. And she's sitting there. I mean, we were just moved to tears of joy and bliss. And it reminded me this morning that I used to facilitate large-scale collaborative, co-creative visioning, strategic planning for churches, businesses, communities, chambers of commerce, and United Ways. And we used flip charts and several steps in the process. And I learned over years that the most valuable, innovative ideas usually ended up on the floor, on a piece of paper, torn off and scratched out, because the group evaluating it didn't see its value or merit. And I know that in these rooms, not necessarily the plenary sessions or room one, but in this room is the wisdom, are the resources, are the blessings that will help manifest Ben's vision for New Earth Rising. And that's just what I've been percolating on my heart. That and gratitude and apologies to the hub. So thank you very much for this privilege.
Now, Charles, we're doing this by open space. So whatever happened is supposed to happen. That means you got to let that go. And who everyone shows up are the right people. And it's a joy to have you here, brother. Charles has been, I'm one of those people he's been doing those plannings with. I've watched him. We've done that together. And the generosity of your spirit, the helpfulness, the willingness, the dedication. I am so grateful. Thank you for what you did. You help us. You help us.
It truly is, Charles. Like, you are just the embodiment of amplifying other people's lights. Like, you are a light worker extraordinaire. The way you add your light to other people's work and their light, it is you're one of the stars that lights our constellation. I'm just so grateful the light beside you.
Just a good example, Becky. You probably don't know this. On the side during World Unity Week, Charles incorporated the Borrego Institute for Living Designs and got me to be the treasurer. I mean, that's just what's happening. It's just like going on in many multiverses.
And then there's Brand Earth today, 30 years in the making. You know, I've only shared that with a couple of million people today. So,
and Charles wrote me this morning, can we share the website for Brand Earth? Is it ready? He's always looking out for us. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Becky. Love you.
Great. Oh, it's so amazing. And John, I see that Summer, your beloved,
yes, my God,
hand up. Summer Joy. Hello, sister. Oh, there we go. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. She's got it.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just so fed by just listening and catching up on everything, on so many things that I missed this week. And that in itself is a joy as I sit here from the cosmic beloved community convergence room. My sister, Heather Elizabeth, is not here because she's on the streets in her community in Texas honoring pride and LGBTQ in a place in Texas that it is not necessarily a safe place to be on that spectrum of the rainbow. So she, with her beloved JB, is on the streets, and I just really want to send her, hopefully all of us can send her safety and blessings as she is
doing God's work as well on the streets as we speak. But it's been actually 4 minutes from now, a week ago, we were just completing the 24 hours of dance for opening up the portal of World Unity Week, opening up the incredible possibilities for these 99 days. It's really amazing to think about that. Just a week ago, in these next couple of minutes, was finishing that, and it's been a beautiful week. We've had probably, I think, like 4 different sessions. Some of those will be recordings and sine waves going out through these 99 days over the next days here. Sharing what really happened in this past week, which will be really fun to play with those offerings for those of you that weren't able to join us live in the Cosmic Beloved community room. And we're not done. I mean, we're just getting started. We're going to be offering every 9 days offerings for all of our missions to collectively continue to radiate and stay focused and continue to feed what we're moving towards, which is September 23rd, and peace on earth and ending war and so many things that we hold on behalf of all of you from that space. So a lot of those details are in the Mighty Network and all the places. Just really excited to continue to land and settle into this beautiful oneness that I feel. Chief Dwayne Perry, I'm just really feeling connected to Split Rock. I feel a real, I'm listening to that rock, and I feel very grounded in that faith of what we're doing together and with that rock. Yeah, I think that's all that I have to share for now. But more than anything, I just really love to listen to what is happening through all of you. Is really a gift here from my Garden of Joy and the cosmic space.
Wow. Wow, baby. You are an amazing human being. I just honor you.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too. Connecting with the rocks. Remember when they told us that the mountains are really frozen in awe? They're just, it's life in awe. You are awe-inspiring. I just like to tell people this because they must, I can't imagine what they think our life together is because it's so incredible. But I met Summer because I was playing the Compassion Games. She was interested in supporting a treaty that was being signed by the tribes to stop the Kinder Morgan pipeline. And that's the source of my inspiration is Summer. I know it's a gift given to me. Just, wow, baby. We are so blessed. Surrounded by such love. And the chance to do good in the world, to do it together, to do what you love with someone you love and with the people you love. How could you really ask for more?
So grateful.
Yeah.
And it's been almost 10 years.
I know.
I'm just getting started.
All right.
Yeah. So much love, truly. As we are all harmonizing with this divine masculine and divine feminine that's going on inside of all of us, it's a healing journey. And for all of us to recognize we are in union together, at least finding that, and we are not in separation from that. I'm just like putting a stake in the ground for that. I honor that, where every single one of you are at in this journey of being a whole and complete, precious child of Creator.
Within creation.
Within creation. Yes.
Oh, you're so powerful, baby.
No, whole show. I really feel Patricia's words right here at this moment.
Yeah.
So beautiful. We're so grateful for everybody's contribution. And Ben, are you pulling an old Aya here?
Oh, Ben's been he's been wanting me to know your wife is amazing. She is rising in her power. And he was telling me this 2 nights ago in the middle of the night, one of our times. And then yesterday he got to share that with Summer too. What a great community.
It was very special.
Nina in our lives now, and it's grown. I mean, that's what's fueling us. We've said it all along. It's how we care for each other that's really going to matter in the end. It can't just be a bunch of words. And we really are a beautiful, beloved community. This is the new Earth rising. Never knew it would look like this, but this is it. You're the one. Every one of you. You're the one.
The Lamed Vavniks.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Okay, I got to tell people what that is. It's a Yiddish term. There's 36 people whose purpose on earth is to justify humanity in the eyes of God. And nobody knows who they are. You could be one of them.
Yep.
So the thought is, I'd hate to have found out when it was all over that I could have made a difference with my life. So I'm going to choose to live my life as if it really matters. And I'm in the presence of those whose lives really matter. That's why caring for this community is so easy. I know it's Becky. Must be her.
I know it's John.
Must be Ben. Well, look at, given what Anne Marie's doing, it's got to be her.
Totally. I was thinking that too about Anne Marie, for sure.
It's got to be her.
Yes. Definitely.
And the way Olivia loves Tex.
Yeah.
He must be the one. You better take care of him.
We have Ben is up too, and he's up. I said he's pulling it 24/7. What a hero! Like what happened in room 1? The 3 of you, room 1 hub holders. I know there were many people in the room 1, but.
Oh, thank you, Becky. It's been amazing. Just sitting here and just listening to all the incredible sharings. It's so incredible. It's almost hard to put into words just how magnificent it is, hearing how much is going on. Your World Unity Week's a bit of a maelstrom. It's hard to kind of figure out exactly how much is going on around the place. I do want to honor Irina, really, who's the co-steward of Room 1, who worked so hard. If you look at Room 1, it's back to back to back to back, like 10, 11, 12 hours a day. And every one of those events takes a lot of time to prepare. And as you know, as you guys all know. And so Irina really did a lot of the heavy lifting for that in weeks and months leading up to this event. So she's not here, but she's a huge part of why it went as well as it did this week. We've had obviously some profound experiences in there. Anna Marie co-hosting with you has been a lot of fun. Obviously, we've been broadcasting out with the guys at Hubcast, which has been a new addition and new innovation this year. And 4 years, 4 years World Unity Week, and we're growing and developing. I know some of you have been, with World Unity Week since it began, and some of you from last year or this year. And it's just exciting to think about, where we can go and what this can become, what it is becoming. And John, deep bows to you, brother, and your creativity and your servant leadership and the way that you design for everybody in mind. It's working. It's working. And I think there's something about this kind of the whole space between, sometimes there's some tension between, well, we want to have a really good quality product and then we want to have something where everybody can have a voice. That's a pretty ambitious thing to try and hold all of that together. And yet we're holding it. We, everybody here, and lots of people who aren't here right now are holding it together. So it's faith. Today it's all about faith, and every single person here involved and connected has been on a faith journey of some kind, and at some point said yes. Maybe that yes came, recently, or maybe it came a long time ago, but time, doesn't know time. Faith doesn't know time. Yes is a yes. So I think it's just really profound and so exciting. I mean, there are moments through the week where it's just been such a peak experience of profound divine enthusiasm of, oh my goodness, what's happening here? What is possible when we all come together and pull our gifts and pull our energies and pull our missions and put it all together. It's a challenge to be creative, and we've got a lot to figure out as we go forward. And yet, look at the genius that's here in the room. Look at the genius that's connected to this field. Look at everybody finding their role, their part, what's yours to do. As we hear that a lot, being clear about what's yours to do, and the sacred no of saying, no, I don't need to do that. I don't need to be involved in that. I don't need to be connected, because I am through the network. But if as we each just do what's ours, then this extraordinary thing, which nobody can predict, nobody can imagine what's going to happen next. And we can feel it, though. We can feel it. And Anna Marie, I was just about to throw to Anna Marie. And she went off camera.
Add Becky to this. I'm trying to get.
So Anna Marie, it's been a privilege to work with you. The programs you brought to working with Hasina as well as a team, the kindness and the generosity and the support is amazing. And programs have been incredible. We've got robots, we've got priests, we've got indigenous. I mean, there's everything. It's everything. It really is. It's actually everything. And so, Anna Marie, thank you. Thank you for the fun co-creative partnership. It's been a joy, and more to come.
Yes, well, if I can add something to that, I think yes to all of what you said, but what I would really like to voice here is, and I'm speaking from me myself as a woman, that I have felt so wonderfully held by you, Ben, by you also, John, both, but also by Peter and by Mark of the Hubcast. It has been such a privilege to be able to just really be fully me, also sometimes doubting, sometimes not knowing, whatever, and just being held and sometimes very softly guided, sometimes given the encouragement, and sometimes just letting me be there for a moment. And I think it's such a huge example of how we can work together, and also you being able to show your vulnerability. So I am really very, very appreciative of that, but I also feel it is something that I would love to, and one of my missions is to share more about that. Yes, of course, I love you both to put you in the spotlight, but as a practice, as a way of how we can do this all across the globe around this, and it's possible. And I've also seen it in the other rooms, in the other sessions. So where there is this search for how do we collaborate cross-culturally, intergenerationally, it's about this part. And I really want to thank you both from the depths of my heart for what you've given me to grow and to be a service of you and all of us.
Anna Marie, thank you so much for saying that. In fact, we all honor Patricia,
Yes.
One of the things she says is not just the denial of oneness, but we have to end the male dominance and the female submission, that story. And for you to honor the men around you like that, that's really profound for me to hear. We know that needs to heal, and we've healed that. These men are not dominating. And if we are, we need to be reminded. And no more female submission. No one's asking for that or wanting that. This is one of the things when I saw what was happening yesterday in that marriage, and we could do this. And we can inverse this dualistic thinking and the separation that it's caused. Thank you for being, that's so powerful for you to say that, because we've really been lost. We really are. It's like, have patience, because we're trying to figure it out. Look what's happening in the world right now.
And I also would like to acknowledge all of our partners, because I mean, if I just look at myself and my husband, I mean, we've been, and you've been, whenever I came, you were there. So I don't know when you slept, but our home front, the people around us, having held us to be able to be here and to be able to serve and to come together and to, of all of us, all of our stewards, all of us, to thank your family, your context, whatever you are. And if you're alone, then even thank your own space that you can be held like that, so that we can be coming together. And I think that must be something that we also must think about in our 99 days and the missions, that we also take care of ourselves, not get overexcited. But anyway, really beautiful. So thank you for that. She says,
life giver, and caregiver and life giver, caretaker, and then protectors and providers. That those are the gender roles, and we can balance these.
Yes.
Thank you, Anna Marie, for saying that. That's really beautiful. And it does take, it takes as a cast of thousands, really. If you look at the co-producers, the sponsors, the room stewards, and the people that show up and get connected, and the tech team is growing. The guys from Hubcast, we're going to come to our closing celebration, or a continuation celebration at 7 p.m. in a few hours from now, Eastern time, which is going to be awesome, because we're going to really celebrate what we've done together and what's been born here. This new Earth Rising, it's just so real, and like so much of what's happened, what we just experienced. I mean, you go back and look at Becky's reaction and others' reaction to what happened out at Split Rock, and some of Joy's and others, and Kristen was in the chat on the Facebook. So there was an extraordinary global event that was been kind of put on, that we're connected to, and when you add all the different other things that have happened, I think Kristen's Rain Shine release was an extraordinary. I mean, that's a historic thing. She's been working on it for 7 years, and there were so many other things that took place. Having a robot come into our space as well. There were so many historic things that happened. There's too many to count or remember. But
She launched her mission this morning about her song "New Earth Rising" with Bob.
Yes.
So someone said the other day, music, culture, community building. Yeah. Music, culture, and I think of Unity Earth, man. That feels a lot like music, culture, community building.
Who said that the other day?
It was from South America. It was on the Global Fire Ceremony Room.
Beautiful.
This gentleman was starting to speak, and he was interrupted, but he stopped there. I had to pick it up from there, because I thought that was so wise.
Yeah. And John, everyone's going to be invited to be in Pookie's video. That's her mission, the 99 days. So everyone can be in that song, which is so catchy.
Yeah, let's see if I could share it. Just to get
one thing that I would like to.
No, just here it is. So here's a mission. It's got its objective. Unfortunately, I'm going to get rid of this other conversation here. Call to action. The song is now going to be up here. So each of you can declare or join these missions that are here on the Mighty Network. I can go here in missions and say, let's see.
Working fine. I'm looking at Vimeo.
All right. By the way, I couldn't help but when I heard the news of what's happening there, and there were these 2 missions where women were calling forth, that's it, we got to stop the war, and Phil calling for end war. For the first time, I had the thought last night, okay, maybe there's a way out of what's going on in Ukraine. May it be so. May it be so.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for the amazing support in Room 1, and just big congratulations to all the room stewards. I just love hearing the positive stories that people had in their journeys. It's a lot of work, right? It's a huge amount of effort. And each of you, as room stewards, have walked that walk and lived that journey. And, we're learning. Everything we do is a preparation for what comes next. So, sometimes it's a bit messy. That's just part of the process. But what we get is we're getting better, and we're upping our skills. We're upping our capacities collectively to really bring not just World Unity Week, but everything that we're doing together collectively. These missions are going to take us into a new place. There's going to be Peace Week again, and there's the 4 events around the year. But I think, John, we're in good shape, and I'm just extremely humbled and awed by the people that are here that have stepped into this process and taken ownership of it.
Well, let's use that trust well. And that means transparency. So we do really want to hear about what we could have done better. We want that kind of space. We want to grow that way. There is a contribution form attached to the Trello cards. Let us know what effort it took. We do want to actually be sincerely growing. And that means you being able to speak and tell us maybe some of the things you might not think we want to hear. We need to know how we could do better. That's what makes us stronger. And that's what the 99, we've never really had this mission kind of thing like this year. So radical collaboration, this idea of weaving our strategies together and turning what we have into what we need. We need to be that system of influence. We need to, come September, have a voice.
Just really quickly, we've got 20 minutes and we've got some more rooms we need to.
Okay.
Oh, we still have rooms. Let's do it.
Go ahead, Anne.
So in the sessions that I hosted in room 1, I told beforehand to all of them, we need to formulate a mission. And there was sometimes a little bit, and then they said, look, I heard one of them said at a certain point, if we don't do it, how is she going to get all these other people to do it? So let's do it. So all the groups have done that. I think it's a great way for us, and it's also another learning journey that how we are going to do it. So, and I would love to see also how, and I'm going to ask David and Robot Sophia, whether somehow these missions and the stories that we have been sharing here and will be doing, if we can add that somehow in that context, in that platform, to really feed Sophia with more examples of conscious ways of working, of how love can spread and how we can really connect to the universal heart. So that's part of my mission.
And I wonder if we could ask Sophia to declare a mission for the next 3 months.
Oh, she could, yes.
Thank you.
We have to add, for those who don't know, Sophia was our artificial intelligence presence during World Unity Week, and there's an incredible program that I'm looking forward to watching next week. I heard about it, and so that's who they're talking about if you don't know, so we can watch that on the one stream on the recording.
It was quite a buzz, Becky. We had satsang with Sadhvaji this morning, and she wanted to do it through everybody asking questions. But the only questions she got were about robotics and AI, because Sophia made such a big impact on everybody. It was kind of funny.
It's a humanoid robot, so she really looks like a woman, and the idea is that she really mirrors us as much as possible, all kinds of emotions and values and that kind of thing for us to learn. And she reminds you all the time that she's a machine. She's not a person. She's just mirroring that she's a machine, to inspire us and to bring us forward. So yes, working on the commons around that, that's part of our mission as that group, to really see how we can bring that in and also bring that in here into our field. And on the every Thursday morning after your Wednesday evening for us midnight weekly calls, we are continuing with what we call the Bridging Continents calls, because we feel that we are taking it on. So we will be continuing to do that through the 99 days, and anybody is welcome to join, and we'll be sharing that here and on the Mighty Network. You can already find us, so we'll be hosting that, continuing to host that.
Beautiful. Well, we are coming up on our time here in the Room Steward Harvest, and we want to hear from the Global Fire Ceremony Room from Ingrid and Anna Marie and Janice Coyle. And I want to invite anybody else who is a room steward who has not yet shared. I have a share that I need to do with Ingrid after this from the Supernova Room, and then also I'd like to share on behalf of the May Peace Prevail on Earth Room. But I think we're rounding the bend. Oh, and Juliet's back! Yay, wonderful. So go ahead, Ingrid. Oh, go unmute you. Oops. There you go.
Oh, sorry, that was a mistake. It's Janice Hall, not Janice Coyle, for the Global Fire Ceremony Room. Oops.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Good to see you, though, Janice. I know you were very busy.
Fires.
And I don't see Adriana in the room, or
was Juliet Duff involved as well?
Anna Marie, do you know? I don't have them as my list of stewards. I have Janice Hall, Adriana Alvarez, and Anna Marie. So those are the three that I have listed on the Global Fire.
Great, we're going to share that. So go ahead, Ingrid, and start to share, and then Anna Marie. I don't think the others are here.
Okay. Well, it's very cool. I'm like the steward behind the stewards in the Global Fire Ceremony Room, as Adriana is working with all of the groups across the Americas, and Anna Marie is holding the constellation across the bridge, and then Janice Hall is holding our Southern Hemisphere relatives from Australia. And as we're trying to do this together, actually, Becky showed in the hub the other night, she showed a picture of a juggler who had those fire sticks and there were torches, and that's exactly how I felt with the Global Fire Ceremony Room, because we had people that were traveling and where they were going and what time they were coming, but there's this continuity of a message of the elders. And if you see the presentations that were the core of the Global Fire Ceremony Room, it built from really bringing the messages of the Americas of saying, okay, here's how we're united in this way. And then it moved into a constellation where the constellation ceremony started to bridge us out. And then it moved into beyond the Americas as we really got the message from our relatives in Europe and additional people that we're bringing in. And so it's such a gorgeous way to recognize the heart of ceremony and the heart of our homes and the heart of our lives, that fire that is enlivening us all. Anna Marie, do you want to add some more to that?
That's really beautiful how you describe that. And you might be hosting behind the scene, but my goodness, you were really there and holding us. So thank you for that. And also Karen was helping us out. So again, the hub was proving how important the hub is. Keeping the fire burning, let's say, in your ways, in our ways here. Yes, I feel very, I'm humbly present there in that space to really learn also and to contribute and to be again and again invited in such a space of ceremony, as you said, of a kind of nearly sacred space of being truthfully myself, trying to be there to connect and to learn, and knowing that even if, for example, in my case, I'm coming from a country, a nation that has really made a lot of its riches through colonialism and slave trades, which this year is 150 years ago when it stopped, but of course it didn't stop then. So the consciousness around that and the homework that is to be done and the holding for each other together, that we were also speaking about in the Bridging Continents and in the mystical politics and the development of conscious politics that we also were speaking about in some cases. And then, of course, seeing how the different continents have different stories to tell, but being also guided by the prophecy that has for so long shown us that if we really come together, we can become one humanity. And so to serve that and to be a bridge builder in that and to bring us together and to have ceremony and also to laugh and to cry and to just be there and to get these amazing teachings also from Patricia and Davis, of course, from Chief Phil Lane, from other elders. It's really, it adds to my experience anyway of my journey here and is inviting me again and again to be in service here.
Absolutely. If you'll look, there's actually an interesting bridge when we were talking about radical collaboration. Philippe from the, what was the name of his room? Co-creating New Earth Systems Together. He did several events in the Global Fire Ceremony and then had them also in his own. So there was a collaboration that happened with them, and you'll see moving forward as they do more events in Gaia Union and the South Americas and the work that they're doing to bridge around the world also.
Juliet and Diana Claire be added?
I'm sorry, what?
I'm seeing that Juliet and Diana Claire have their hands up, and I think they probably might have something also to say. As Juliet was also in the Global Fire Ceremony in Enlightening Our Way Together, connecting to a sacred site in Ireland which is also part of her. You're in it, Juliet. I don't know if you realize. And maybe so you want to share something now. And Diana Claire, you have your hand up. Is that related also to the Global Fire Ceremony Room? Yes, please. If you can join in.
You can unmute yourself, Juliet.
Actually, this.
There you go. I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I wasn't actually going to talk about the global fire ceremony. I was going to talk about Healing for Rising, which was our room, which I was sharing with others. So if you want to finish up the global fire ceremony,
that's okay. That's okay. We only have a few more minutes left, and so we want to hear from you, and we also want to hear from other.
Okay, well, I was just wondering if there's any chance that Tex and Cara and Annalise could come on with me, because we shared the room
Go
together.
ahead and start to talk, and we'll pull up Tex and Annalise in your as well.
Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you very, very, very much. The love, support, and grace, I suppose, of doing this. I couldn't have done it without this wonderful balm that was surrounding us. And Tex was amazing. Carmilla was amazing. They were the two I worked with most. And the presenters I so enjoyed, and I found it was a wonderful learning curve. And in many ways, I felt I was going beyond the threshold I'd been at before. But I'd like the others to speak too now, please. Thank you. Tex?
Well, okay, thank you. Thank you, Juliet. Juliet was very much the coordinator, spokesperson for the room. I ended up collaborating in that room, Healing for Rising. I have to say that beyond the remarkable programs that was presented in the room, nurturing healing, not only at an individual personal level, but also for the world, for the new earth to arise. Juliet, for example, had a very powerful message that had been conveyed to her twice by what she called rock elders, both in Greece and in Turkey. Now, I found participating in that room particularly cathartic. If a few of you found that I was very helpful to you in other rooms, it's really through the synergy, the nourishment that I was getting in Healing for Rising. There was also Cara there, and Susan Kasak, and so yeah, Camila, originally from South Africa, who knows even Hasina, but now in Greece. Unfortunately, can but probably not here with us now. But we really at 4 a.m. my time here today, there was a meeting of the Room Stewards. I managed to make it at 4:30, and we all feel that the new human is arising, like the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. So as we are off the earth and also spiritual beings having this earthly experience, we believe that we will have the new earth rising. Thank you.
Yeah, Annalise made up from all our words this morning. Annalise, would you speak?
Just a little. Yes, we harvested in Cara's way, in a way, with word letters, and some things stood out. We came, thanks to Tex, from a divine milieu, en français, for the divine child. And we were riding our dragons with faith from this divine milieu to be a cosmo-ecozoic being, thanks to Jude Gervin. There's so much more to say, but we were cathartic, we were being candid, and that was because the microcosmos of World Unity Week, Ben Bowler, I must name him, Anna Marie, of course, Becky, my goodness, Becky and John. So we really were so happy that we could be in your microcosmos, and there was synchronicity on so many levels. We were even able to enter the room without understanding anything of the techniques, but coming on telepathy. And today, on the last day, Tex was able to find the room by himself. Well, that was wonderful. And so we learned, and we keep on learning. And also to mention that what we learned was being open to all, and all seems sometimes a little different than we see ourselves. But hey, the triggers were also the entrance points. So I'm very lucky that we were in this group, and a solid group it was. Thank you, Cara, because you are the one who was originating this beautiful room, and we will keep continuing this room.
Great. Yeah, this is a very special experience for me in terms of the teamwork. So when Anne-Marie kept holding that Thursday space every morning, there's only 5 or 6 people who would go every time. She kept holding this emergent space, and I was just wondering myself, why is Anne-Marie still holding that space? She's so busy. She's in meetings all the time. What's so important about those 5 people every week for an hour that she would keep holding that? And then I showed up finally, 1 month before our World Unity Week. I'm like, okay, now is the time to go into the room and start planning World Unity Week. And then I said, hey, how about we do this? And they all went, yes! And they sprang out of their seats and let's make a room together. And I'll do this and I'll do that. And okay, I'm ready. And I was like, oh, she was seeding that field of energy, connection, trust in those 5 or 6 people, and now they've come together as this powerful team that's making the room together, the mission together, supporting each other, and being so open and so supportive of all the people who didn't have rooms, bringing them in. It was a real treat for me. I think it was Maylene came in, and she was just sort of saying really simple life tips about being conscious, and I thought, well, why is that's a bit weird, but then she was just showing up totally enlightened presence, and then she was, oh, the song's coming through now, and she just go, oh yeah, it's on, and I'm like, wow, she's doing all that stuff that I think is too crazy to share, and she's just sharing it, and we're becoming visible and normalizing this conscious way of being. So this internal healing is being like, it's okay to be that new human, and it's okay to bring it forward. And how can we bring it forward more with each other, and supporting these women? They're supporting me to bring the ceremonies, my mission forward, and together. And so it's just this beautiful, it's that little hidden soul that's too afraid of the regular world to be seen, has a safe space to come out and be seen. I've seen that in so many of us this week. So just huge gratitude to this circle. Bless. Yeah.
It's so beautiful, incredible. Thank you so much. I want to invite Ingrid up here to reflect on what happened in the Supernova Room. And the Supernova Room is a spin-off room that gets born during our convergences, when we find people who perhaps they haven't been to any of our hub sessions, and they haven't had their events placed, and they need a place to present. So they bring their own Zoom room. So we have the Supernova constellation that comes into being. And I'm so grateful to Ingrid and Karen too, to help steward that too. We both, all of us steward the Supernova Room, and just wanted to pass to share, let you share, Ingrid, about what happened before I share about May Peace Prevail on Earth Room. Oh, we gotta unmute you too. Hang on, There we go.
Okay. Yeah. So we have, this is amazing. Actually, there were 11 events that went live through the Supernova Room. And there are 11 events that we hadn't quite gotten posted within the time frame, but are potentially still going to be going out through the 99 days of Peace Through Unity. So there's total balance at this point, which is interesting. The actual description is the Supernova Convergence Room is a self-stewarded room where you bring your own Zoom room and schedule your event based on availability. Supernova are major source of all of the elements in the interstellar medium. The expanding shock waves of supernova can trigger the formation of new stars. We hold the space for the highest intentions and most beneficial evolutionary aspects of all of these presentations to become elemental influences in our world and trigger the expansion of new formations of light within and throughout all of humanity and all life forms. That's the Supernova Room.
That's what we all feel. I mean, it is such an explosion of light and goodness and love and peace building. We're all learning so much from each other. Thank you so much, Ingrid, for all you do to hold us and nurture so many of us through this expressive process and amplifying our work through this extraordinary media platform that we're making. I always say we're the new media, and I had the great privilege of being part. What? Say that again.
Oh, sorry. Karen lifted them up. Several of the presenters just didn't know what to do, and she took them live. So special thanks to Karen for making sure that those presentations were launched
into. Yes, thank you so much, Karen. And we had I had an extraordinary privilege of being part of the May Peace Prevail on Earth Convergence Room again this time. And we have 7 different room stewards. I don't know if that's the most, although we all help each other in the stewarding process. And so in that room this week, we were able to feature an event that happened on the solstice with Grandmother Ejna and Mindahi and others from Plum Village in France. A beautiful sangha with our beloved ancestor Thich Nhat Hanh, and it was a beautiful offering we had yesterday. And we also had a daily call to peace where there was different expressions from flag ceremonies, and we learned more about Nina Meyerhoff's incredible body of work in Auschwitz. And I mean, it was just such an extraordinary room. We had a couple other presenters, including Laura George from the Peace Pentagon and Christy Michaels, a priestess of Mary Magdalene tradition, who was talking about how the Berlin Wall came down. And I didn't know this, but there was a little girl who placed a candle at the Berlin Wall holding a prayerful intent. And right where her candle was, after the fact she placed this candle, was where the wall broke through for the first time. It was an incredible story. I was so inspired by and she talked about it from a quantum physics standpoint as well. As she wove this whole thing, it was really extraordinary. And we had Barb Chambliss talking about women peace builders around the world and the effects that they have had. And so it was an incredible room, and we're really looking forward to over the next 91 days now of the good work we're doing with the Nuclear Prayer Day, which is on August 6th. We're really excited that we're inviting everybody to contribute their prayer on that day at your own events, wherever you happen to be on that Sunday. And so we'll be doing live streams. We have special events then that will go out on the World Unity Week Facebook page and many other Facebook pages, thanks to Sign as well. So it was just mind-blowing. And Hezekiah held the room very much with me, as well as Fumi and Dot. Hezekiah Gabriel from Pathways to Peace, and brought the youth's voices in. So it was so inspiring, and I look forward to going back and watching the recordings from the own room that I stewarded too. So we're really we are all sparkling here, John.
I know, and it's still happening here. We got our Awakening World Scots jumping in. I mean, so everyone get comfortable with this idea of our missions and what that means. And we have a way of grouping these together. Ben and I were talking about better using breakout rooms when we convene, like throughout this 99 day, every couple of weeks, to make sure we have a global coverage there's some new things we could step up to, and then recognizing we want to not create silos with these missions, but come together with these missions and see how we can discover and learn who we are, getting to know ourselves, getting to know our gifts and what we can bring to this. That's so key. So, wow, Becky, what can I say?
It's incredible. I
know.
I just could weep a month of Sundays for joy and gratitude.
Oh, incredible.
I don't know if there's any way that we could go into gallery view so we can see everybody who's in the room as we close up this beautiful. Or we step into the expansion. I don't think we're closing it. We're stepping into the expansion.
I'm going to drop in the chat something for everybody to look at. This is, if you haven't seen this yet, this is kind of a little bit about where we see this going. And it was in 2008 that I met Hereditary Chief Villain, and he shared with me these guiding principles. When I heard, and now I'm a musician by training, I said, oh my God, that's a hit. It was so simple. It was so profound. He simply said, starting from within, working in a circle, in a sacred manner. We heal and develop ourselves, our relationships, and the world. I said, wow.
So incredible.
And that has been at the heart of the Compassion Games, at the heart of the Sign Network, at the heart of our convergences. And what I just put in is a link to how our missions can connect to those guiding principles.
John, look in the room. Look at this. Look at everybody here. I don't know. I know we have many screens open, but everybody can take in the light as we wrap this beautiful. I'm thinking of Elise Joan, and we wrap this beautiful shawl around us here. This beautiful moment together. It's extraordinary. We're so grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You help us grow. You help us live. And we've all got different jobs to do. Thank you for what you did.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.